Hello, everyone. Welcome by my presentation. I'm very honored to be speaking to you again like last year. And I want to thank Ayande, Roshan, and especially Dr. Mehdi Firochet and Masoud for communicating with me to be on this program with you. And I would love to share some of my ideas how to increase well-being of your colleagues to get better business results. I will give you 7 steps to help your colleagues to a higher level of well-being. I'm going to share my screen with you. I will disappear a little bit in the corner, but you know my face and it's about my story. So let's start with sharing the screen and see what we can do. Well, I'm going to talk with you about well-being and profitability. Well-being is some sort of other word for happiness. If you're happy, you feel well. And the more you feel well over a longer period of time, it's well-being. And profitability has to do, well, with the outcome of what you're doing, because we all like to earn some money with our businesses and working with our colleagues. So how can we increase both well-being of our colleague and the profitability of our organization? Well, I talked about it last year, and I talked about the job demand resources model. And currently, there is research done by the Wellbeing Research Center of Oxford University, and it talks about the chicken or the egg question. What comes first? Is higher profitability leading to more well-being, or is well-being leading to more profitability? So I want to go through that material with you today. Whenever we are in a business, whatever kind of business we are doing, we are always working with colleagues, with what we call employees. And what we see is that you have well-being on 2 different levels, the personal level, and you have the well-being in the workplace. And I will focus on workplace well-being because that's connected with your colleagues and with the outcome as well. So today I will focus on values, of course, but mostly on the core values of your organization. I will look at the purpose, but I will focus as well on result and profit, because that's what Oxford was doing a lot of study about, and I would love to share those insights with you today. So Oxford was doing research on 2 different levels. It's 2 different kind of research that they did. One was from William Fleming, and it focused on how individual interventions on well-being are working or team interventions on well-being, and what gave the best outcome. And the other research was done by another group of scientists, and they looked whether well-being comes first or higher profitability comes first. And I will share you the outcome. But let's first focus on the research by William Fleming of Oxford on individual versus team interventions. To be honest, on the left side, you see the individual interventions. He checked over more than 40,000 people in more than 250 companies over 5 years. So you can say that his research is solid. And I checked his research, and I truly believe that he made a right point. And he looked at 900 different programs on individual well-being. This research is done in the United Kingdom. They have a lot of organizations focusing on individual well-being program, employee assistance program, EAP. In the Netherlands, we do it on an individual basis. We don't have programs for it. But if I looked at those 900 different programs, I saw a lot of the programs that I know from my experience in my home country. And what you see, we give a lot of resilience coaching because a lot of people have mental issues because of all kind of stuff going on in their lives or even in the world. So we need to be more resilient. We need to take action to create more resilience, more power, more energy in our life, that we have higher energy given to us than it's taken from us. So that's very important for a lot of people. Time management. I see a lot of people who have that desk full of all kind of projects they need to finish, and they can't set priorities, and they are drowning in the amount of work they see that they have. And then it helps you to do a time management course, to set your goals per day, to start with the most difficult issue early in the morning and then finishing up with other stuff. Being mindful. I'm doing at this moment a course based in India on workplace well-being, and we focus a lot on mindfulness as well. Stress management. Life can be very stressy, and then I say it in a nice way, but it can be stressful, and it will take down all the energy that you have in your life, and you get close to a burnout. And burnout can be close to depression, or on the other side to not knowing what to do first and being overwhelmed by all the things that is on your plate. A lot of people have financial issues, so then we offer budget coaching. Not to tell them how to behave, but how to set priority and when to spend money or not. And a very important insight that's new in the last 2 or 3 years is that sleep is so important for a person, that we need to work hard to get a decent sleep and to recover from all the emotions during the day. So that's interventions on the individual part. And you see more than 900 different ones are allocated. On the other hand, we have teams. You have your group of colleagues, and then you need to work together and you have a task to fulfill. And we need to take care that the team knows how to work in a good way, working together to get the job done. And in a way that gives you more credit, that gives you more money, that gives you more profitability. What we see then is that we use terms like job crafting and job carving. That means if you don't like doing some part of your job, that somebody else in the team will take over and say, hey, let me help you. For example, with Excel. I need to work with Excel and I don't like it. It's terrible for me. I know how to do it, but it isn't working for me. It's too difficult to focus on. Then I have my son, and he loves to work with Excel. So I called him several months ago and I said, well, Vincent, I need your support because I need to do an Excel. I will send you all the information, but please, can you help me out, because it takes too much time for me and too much energy. And I sent it to him, and 2 hours later, he sent it. I said, this is your Excel and this is how it works. And we did it together. So I took that part out of my job, gave it to a colleague, and he took care of it. And sometimes when you look at our jobs and you are with 4, 5, maybe 10 colleagues and you have the same job, then sometimes part of it that takes too much energy can be given to somebody else, and you take their part of something different and you work together. And that means that you need to communicate in an open way. Otherwise, you can't help each other out. So job crafting and carving means that you work together in a team with your colleagues, and that you see how you can use different parts. That's connected with team planning as well. What we see most of the time on Monday morning, we get together and say, this is what we need to do this week, and let's go ahead and power play and whatever. That's not team planning. Team planning is, how can I be of support to you? How can I help you with different tasks and roles? And what do we need to do as a team to finish on Thursday, on Friday morning early with our job done? That's very important. Another one is leadership. We are all self-leaders. We all lead ourselves, our families. We are responsible for our own activities. Sometimes you have a leadership position in your organization. And I was just looking at a video of Simon Sinek on leadership. And he said leadership is about supporting. Leadership is about helping others to fulfill their task. Even it's a colleague and not a leader, you can support somebody else. Don't play the boss. Don't play the manager who is controlling, but are the leader that support your fellow colleagues to get to the next part. Another team intervention is feedback programs. You have individual feedback with your leader, your colleagues, but you can have a 360 degrees. Then you help each other with feedback. Feedback is very important. We don't need to do it once a year. You should do it 2, 3, 4 times a year in an open environment. And I will talk about that later on, how feedback can be really successful. And then we have some other stuff that is supportive in our team efforts, and that it's vitality meetings, that we help each other to gain more energy in our work. Health insurance is very important because things can happen to you. If you have an opportunity to support people in it, it's well known in the Netherlands. It's less known in other parts of the world. So I'm not saying that it's crucial, but it helps and support team members to get the health that they need. And if there is an option for retirement plans, that would be amazing as well. That's the research. Last year in February, when I was in Mazandaran, I told you about core values, about non-negotiables, and how they are connected with your passion, your mission, and your vision. As a team, you need to know what your purpose is as well. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you know that purpose, if you know why you are working as a team of colleagues together, then you can find those spots that you need to support. And then you will find your passion. And I'm not saying that you need to have that passion in your life every day, because no, it doesn't work that way. Happiness is short term, passion is more longer term, and purpose is the end of, and I will show later. Vision is important. What strategy do we want to use, and what are the goals we try to achieve? So goals need to be really good plans that lead to that goal. And if we set good targets with it and we have our goals clear, our plans can be clear, and with filling in our core values, we can reach those goals. And if we reach the goals in time, because we did it with passion, with a lot of energy, then profitability will be higher than we are used to. So check out the next day you come into your office or in your business. Do I know my non-negotiables? Does our team, our colleagues know the non-negotiables of our team, of our business? Can we work together in a same basis, that we have an umbrella with the same non-negotiables that takes care of us, that is carrying our needs? So it is not something you do early Monday morning and say, hey, let's talk about our non-negotiables. No, you have to work on it. It's hard business to get your non-negotiables clear. On the other hand, the longer term results will show that it works really well for you. So take that time. Then I want to talk about my 7 steps to improve your team well-being. You can see them here, and I will address them one by one because it's quite difficult. And if you like, you can ask Masoud for a print of these 7 steps, because otherwise you're writing it down, and maybe it's better to listen and focus and get the sheets later on. So it's about assessing and understanding. It's about defining a clear well-being strategy altogether. It's about creating a supportive environment. It's about investing in growth and development of your people. It's prioritizing mental and physical health. Do we take care of our people? Then recognize and reward people who are really working hard to achieve your goals, and evaluate and improve. I will talk more about these 7 steps now, and you see on the right Ikigai, which is a lovely Japanese concept of purpose of well-being. It's what you love to do, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, quite nice, and what the world needs. And if you join those 4 parts in your business, you will lead to Ikigai, to purpose, to well-being. But it's just nice to see that. Step number 1, assess and understand. Well, there are surveys because we need to check a 0 level. What is our well-being level at this moment? Can we just ask, hey, you, Masoud, what is your level of well-being? And then he will say, out of 1 to 10, I'm on a 9. And we need to check whether that's true. So we do it anonymously. We don't ask names and numbers. We want to see how people address in a survey their well-being. And if we start in March with checking anonymously how people are, in 4 or 6 months' time, we can have another check on the numbers. But you need to work through the other plans as well, otherwise it will stay the same. There are a lot of surveys. They are on the internet. You can do them on paper. You can do them even on your watch and your cell phone. So lots of opportunities to check out 3 to 6 simple questions. How are you feeling? Then you need to identify out of that checks what the level and the areas are of satisfaction and happiness. And of course, also the concerns. Because if we don't take care of the concerns, that negative part will grow and grow and grow and will overtake satisfaction and happiness. So identify them, be honest on it. Put in risk assessment at the workplace. What are the physical risks working in your organization? In a factory, it will be different than in a shop. It will be different in an office environment. But check out what are the physical risks to work in your organization. Then next, check what the mental or psychological risks are, because there are risks, and I will tell you more about it later on, because it's called social and psychological safety. That's what we need to create in any workplace all around the world. And of course, there need to be economic issues addressed as well. I'm sitting in my office, I'm presenting, I have a big screen in front of me, camera, microphone, and the most important part, that I'm sitting on a good chair. that I'm stable and I can use my hands. So that's the economic safety issues. I need to have a safe workplace. If you have done those first three, you need to analyze that information. What can we learn? What can we identify to improve the well-being of our colleagues, of our team? This is research. Sometimes it's difficult to do, but for me, it's really step number one. If I don't have the data, if I don't have information, I can't work on improving team well-being. It needs to be addressed first. Second one is, if we know what we want to achieve in the coming time and what we need to improve, we need to make a strategy. Look again at mission, vision, strategy, goals. We need to set a strategy that we can achieve those goals and make it about well-being. It's not only about production, it's also about well-being. How are we feeling when working together as a team of colleagues? Set smart goals trying to improve well-being. And smart means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. If we say, oh, let's be more friendly to one another, it's very important, but it has no smart goals in it. We need to be precise in what we need to improve. We can check well-being, we can check health, we can check mental issues, and we need to set smart goals to improve that well-being. Then maybe you will find a list of 10, 15, 20 issues. I hope you don't. I hope you will find only 2 or 3 issues, because then it's easy to prioritize and to set goals. But prioritize if you have 5 or 6 issues and say, let's start with this one, make it time bound, and do the next one when we finish the first project, because otherwise we're doing 20 projects at one time and it's not going to work. And make an action plan, action plans to do it. So define a clear well-being strategy to work on it. Number 3, create a supportive environment. And this is so important. This is about leadership. If I want to improve well-being of my colleagues, I need to be a supportive leader. I need to ask the question, how can I help you? What do you need to get to that next level? How can I take away those issues that are bothering you? How can I communicate in an open way with you and hold myself and you accountable for what we decide? So open communication is about listening. It's not about telling others what to do. It's asking how you as a leader can support people. And then make yourself accountable for doing what you're saying. That means that we need to foster a positive culture. I need to ask you open and positive questions instead of telling, hey, you should be in time and do whatever you feel. That's negative. That will drain my energy. That will not help me to get to that next level. And if you have the opportunity to leave, people will leave because of that negative culture. If there is an option to create hybrid or flexible work arrangement, that would be nice as well. Well, during Corona time, we noticed that a lot of people were working 4 or 5 days in an office. And we found out that we didn't need to be there physically. Like I'm now in the Netherlands sending your information. That's hybrid. You are there with Hans Ruinemans and I'm online telling you my story. And I promise you I will be back soon. That's flexible. Some people need to take care of their family first before they can go to work. help them to set flexible time frames if possible. Sometimes you need to be there in time. In a hospital, you need to start at 8 a.m. You need to be there in time, and preferably 15 minutes earlier because you need to start today. And I'm fine with it. I think 60% of the employees in your country need to be in a workplace physically. So it's just for the happy few, let's say it that way. But if it can, please help people to create that flexibility. Step number 4, invest in growth and development of your colleagues. Like I said, at this moment, I'm still doing courses. I'm 66 years old, but I still need to grow and to develop and to learn new stuff. So don't think, oh, I'm 50, I don't need to learn anything anymore. No, 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 the world is changing. And Hans will talk with you about AI, artificial intelligence, and it will help us to get to that next level. So ask people in your team, how can we support you with a training course, with coaching, with mentoring, help people to that next level and ask them what they need to do. I sometimes tell my clients that sometimes if they want to do something that they can use in their private life, still finance that kind of training because it will give them more positive energy because we are willing to support them. So, for example, you're a soccer player and you want to become a trainer or a referee or whatever, but you need to do a training and it has nothing to do with your job. But it will give you positive energy if I help you to grow, to develop, and you will have more energy in your daily life to do your work in a better way. So if you see an opportunity, please use it. Talent development. Sometimes you're in a specific role and people think this is my role for the rest of my time. But you see that in their private life, they do a lot of stuff like being a referee in a soccer game or whatever game. Why shouldn't we see that as a talent and see how we can use that talent to use it in our work? Because sometimes somebody is not really feeling happy in their job, but being a mentor will help them. So see how you can use all the talents of people because that will give them more energy and it will support your team and your profitability. And mentoring program. Sometimes we see people who are fed up with what they're doing and they are great with younger people to tell them what to do to make the next step. Well, we should hire them as mentors to support them. Number 5, and this is a really very important one, prioritizing health mentally and physically. We need to give people support to live a healthy life because without sleeping, without proper food, without proper exercise, people won't be healthy enough to do their work. And there you see the connection with individual intervention. So I believe individual interventions are very important for that individual. But if you do it team-based, it will help your team, your colleagues, your organization. Address mental health. A lot of pressure is getting into our lives and it's not really supportive for ourselves. So we need to train people mentally as well. You know, psychologists, you have the training programs. I saw a colleague of mine last year in the training in Mazandaran, and I thought amazingly well, modern kind of positive psychology. Please use that kind of stuff. And then we talking about social safe workplace and psychological safe workplace. Social means that I can be myself and that I'm accepted as who I am within the workplace. I'm not talking about country-wise, worldwide. I'm talking about your workplace. Take care that everybody is heard, that we all listen to people and that we respect human beings as they are, that we don't step on their heads and try to tell them what to do, but listen to what they do. And that's the psychological part, that they are able to tell in a free way what they think about work. That's a very important part. Then the next one, recognize and reward. It's not all about the money. Some songs are about it. It's all about the money. No, it isn't. It's about recognition. And of course, rewards help. Recognition is valuable. I got a reward last year and an award of Ayande Roshan last year when I was in Mazandaran. It's still behind me. It's still precious to me. It's still a token of the friendship that we have with Ayande Roshan and the people that work there. So I'm grateful for that kind of awards because it's a reward for what I was doing. And of course, money is important, but recognition, acknowledging that you make a contribution to your team is really important as well. That's about psychological safety as well. And of course, if you can offer the team extra benefits to support their well-being, that's great. It will help a team to get to that next level. So implement reward programs, do it team-based. Don't focus on individuals, but more on the teams, because we know that that's very important. And then the last, but not the least, as we always say, evaluate and improve. You made a check at the start, and 3 or 4 months later, you will check again. You will evaluate the outcomes and you will improve again for the next bit. So if you do it 3 times a year, so in February, June, and in October, that's amazing if you can put it all in place and see what the progress will be. You can track it by asking the same questions again. Gather that feedback from your colleagues in an anonymously way. And I hope at some day you will sit down, have a tea, and just talk about the feedback and say, hey, what have we learned? How can we improve? That would be amazing if you can do it that way. So stay well informed. These 7 steps, you can go over it and over it again because it's very important, but it's going on this direction, the 3 Ps. It's going from pleasure, which is, oh, I'm happy today because I had so much fun today, to passion. The longer I do this type of work that I really love, the more my happiness will increase. And that's called passion. And we always say, work from your passion. And I get it. And you can't have it all day long and every week, but try to focus on it. So from pleasure to passion. And in the longest term, if you can work from your purpose, what do I want to be in life? The longer you do it, the higher your well-being, another word for happiness, will be. So this is the 3 Ps. There has been a lot of research on it. It's the most difficult part of working on well-being. I know it, and I'm doing it for 10 years now, and I think I'm on that second level, passion. You can hear it in my voice if I talk about it. This is about my passion, and I'm focusing on my purpose, and I hope I will get there, but it takes time. It's not something that you do overnight and you will be there. So it's about charging your batteries, getting more and more new energy, because working can take energy. Life will take away a lot of energy. But if you do what you like doing, and if you have a lovely family and you have a great team of colleagues, you will get more energy. Focus on the energy takers, the givers, and not the takers that take away, that drain your energy. Focus on energy givers in your life. Last year, I showed you the 7 keys of profitability. How will it improve? And we saw that people like to work with your organization and will stay working with your organization if they love what you're doing and what you're talking about. And then sick leave will go down because we love what we do. And we focus today on the well-being part. And what we know, that productivity will go up, sales will go up, customer loyalty will go up because you have employee loyalty, colleague loyalty, and that comes first. So the employee experience, the colleague experience comes before the customer experience. And I can show you in a different way, because this is research by Gallup, by the American Psychological Association, and Harvard and Oxford. So Oxford did research, but the others show it as well. And you see there is much more success if you work from well-being. You are much more creative because you're in your passion, going into purpose. You're much more accurate when you can stay focused because you know what you're doing. You have less fatigue symptoms, so you sleep well, you have more energy, you're 10 times more engaged, and you will be much more productive. Here you see another research which shows the same as we showed last year. Here you see it in a different way. We call it the happiness advantage, the well-being advantage. It's not about feel good. Oh, I'm so happy today. No, it's strategic advantage to lead to more successful and profitable business. So if you can work on those 7 steps, this is what you can achieve. And you see Gallup did research on it. Sean Aker did it, Bain and Company, and Glassdoor. They all tell the same story. It's a worldwide situation that we need to do. So I'm going to wrap up. I believe that you need to work from your core values, your non-negotiable, as a person and as a team of colleagues. If you know what your core values are, if you know what your non-negotiables are, you will charge your battery. You will have much more energy to do your work, and your life, but also your business, will be much more profitable, not only in money, but in well-being, in fun, in sharing with others. That's the most important part. So happiness makes money. That's what I love to say. So I'm going to stop the sharing and address to you personally. I love working with you guys. I love to support you, and I love to tell my story to you. I hope to be back in Iran in a couple of months' time, working with Ayande Roshan, working with Dr. Mehdi and with Masoud, and tell you how I like to talk with you and address you. So I'm saying goodbye for now, but I hope to see you soon in the future. Thank you very much. Talk to you. Bye-bye.